Hey, how's it going tonight? Um, I am here to do my daily live blog post reading. Oh, and here we go. So today, day 8, jealousy is the topic. And I started writing it thinking, wow, this is actually going to be really difficult to write about. And it actually wasn't. It wasn't hard to write about. I think I'm just in the zone of being honest, just sharing it all. It is raw. If you don't like that, just pass on by, no offense at all taken. So, jealousy is a very human emotion, but I feel that we don't talk about it a lot. So, I just wanted to share some experiences from times specifically when I've been roller skating, when I felt jealous about various things. So, the first point, because I came to roller skating through the path of roller derby, I really kind of worked my way up in the league. So I thought that was not the case. I feel I was the only person that thought that. The coach, anybody else wasn't thinking that. They just wanted to field the best team that would win. So people would join, and some of them could already skate. They transferred from other leagues, and I would kind of see them just slot in, and then they'd be picked to go bout. And I'd be thinking, they've like snagged my place. And I would kind of double down, work harder, really just chuck myself at it a bit more, like swallow the jealousy and just try and channel it into something positive. And it wasn't very helpful. Um, and then it got to the point where I'd been kind of slogging away at this. I'd been going for 18 months. I'd given like a lot of myself, supporting the league, doing other things as well in my own time. And then we had yet another intake. We had another new person pop along, and they were they were just such a joy to watch skate. They threw themselves into it. They were, in conversation, they were one of these people, they'd never skated before, yet somehow they were just really good at everything straight away. And so they got coached more. And yeah, and it turns out that they had been a competitive diver. So the difference being that athletic training matters. A background in athletic training really matters. You fall from a great height, you fall to the floor. It's way less daunting. So, second time that I can remember was when I was learning to skate in the skate park. I can remember quite well being jealous because people who were starting around the same time as me in that space were kind of throwing themselves around fearlessly. Yet again, it's another fearless thing. So that says a lot about me and the fear that I was experiencing. It didn't matter to me that I had a full-time job and I had a young child. That didn't matter. I was still like in the same space. I should be able to do all the same things. And I obviously didn't have a back. Well, not obviously, you won't know. I don't have a background in gymnastics. And I'd never actually set foot in a skate park at all until I was in my mid 30s. It is not a space that I'm familiar with. It's not a space I grew up in. I had no idea how that space works. And there's definitely an etiquette to how that space works. So I was jealous of people feeling comfortable and confident in that space and did not allow myself any kind of grace period or give myself permission when I did not feel good about it. And I was just like sat on the sidelines because I'd chosen to sit there because I didn't feel comfortable, but I didn't understand it. So I'd sat on the sidelines, watched, and kind of was just quietly jealous about other people feeling pretty chill. And then my journey kind of went roller derby, and then I went to the skate park, and then I found roller dance. So with roller dance, I can remember people being able to go to big skate events like Skate Love Barcelona, and I could not go because I'm a primary school teacher and the timing of that festival is in term time in September. So I might have been able to head out for like a Saturday and Sunday, but when you're like really pushing it, and then you kind of think, but actually, are you even going to get to spend any time there? Don't know. So at the time, I couldn't justify spending that money to go for basically just over 24 hours and it didn't feel right, but I don't know, maybe that's another blog post. But I was just jealous of the people who did go, and it wasn't nice. So when I sit and think about how this jealousy feels, how does it sit inside your body? It's not very nice. It I feel like I'm outside of my values. I want to drag people down to the place that I'm in, somewhere between hurt, sadness, and anger with a decent dose of self-pity. And you want people to think I want people to think that I'm a good person. So I don't want to drag people down, and instead I just stifle it, push it to the side. And actually, that is the worst thing that you can do, because then it kind of just boils over, it becomes all consuming in your mind, and then I'd be dreaming about ways to draw attention to myself. Um, and it kind of made me end up being somebody that I wasn't really. Anyway, I don't really think that that's okay, and it didn't feel good, and it didn't feel comfortable, and it still doesn't when I think back on it. So having unpicked a lot of that emotion as it sits in me, I've now learned that my jealousy is actually telling me something. It's an indicator showing me what I would like. So now it becomes my responsibility to do something different to enable that thing to become a reality, or I need to step away and leave it alone. If I don't, then my mind is going to find ways to attempt sabotage to the other person. And I definitely do not want to be that person. And I won't be. I will not be that person. So if I kind of go back to the skate park, I did try being upside down a couple of times on skates. But I can't do a cartwheel very well off skates, and it really scares me. I don't like being upside down. And I think that stems from an occasion when I was in my late 20s. I tried a handstand against a wall on my trainers because I hadn't learned to skate yet. But I hadn't realised that there was like a spongy bit of ground. It was a bit dodgy. It gave way, and I ended up sort of collapsing down the wall onto my shoulder and neck muscles. And I think I kind of sprained it on one side, and it wasn't good. And I could not move my head and neck. When you're like, you're a unit and it hurts, and you kind of like holding your neck funny. Um, it wasn't good. It didn't feel good at the time. So I now think that not being uncomfortable with being upside down, if I really wanted to learn it, I could. I'd need to do it in a different way. But actually, at the time, it was probably my subconscious protecting my body from getting hurt again by telling me, you don't like this. Don't do it. You don't like it. Just go back the right way up, and let gravity do its job. So, having decided that I actually don't like being upside down, my jealousy just disappeared. It dissipated straight away. And I'm not in the slightest bit bothered that I cannot do a cartwheel. And I'm quite happy to watch and applaud and cheer people that can. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. It's like I let go of the competition. So, learning how to confront my jealousy by re-evaluating my goals helps me feel much more at peace, it was nice. It is nice. So, I think that gratitude is the enemy or the opposite to jealousy, but I will I think I'll do a bit more about that tomorrow. Anyway, if you try listening to your jealousy and that emotion, if you tap into it rather than tap out, what is it telling you? Have a reflect on that. Okay, take care. See you tomorrow.